Common sense. It sounds so simple, right? We use the phrase every day, almost as if it's something everyone should naturally have. But here's the truth. Common sense isn't as common as we think. In fact, research from the University of Toronto found that people consistently overestimate their own common sense while underestimating others, a phenomenon called illusion of explanatory depth. In other words, we often think we understand things better than we actually do. So what is common sense? Common sense can be defined as the ability to make sound judgments based on practical experience rather than specialized knowledge. Psychologists describe it as a mix of intuition, critical thinking, and lived experience. Think about it this way: a toddler knows not to touch a hot stove after one painful lesson. An experienced investor knows not to pour all their money into a single too good to be true scheme. It's not about IQ or formal education, it's about judgment in every single day situations. What are the parameters of common sense and how do we recognize it? Experts point to three parameters. Number one is practical reasoning, the ability to connect cause and effect. Number two, situational awareness, understanding the context before acting. Number three, adaptability, applying knowledge flexibly to new situations. For example, Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize winning psychologist, shows in his book Thinking Fast and Slow that while we rely heavily on intuition, people with strong common sense also know when to slow down, question themselves, and avoid bias. You might be thinking, why does it matter for success? Common sense often separates good decisions from disastrous ones. Harvard Business Review report that leaders with practical judgment outperform their peers, not because they are smarter in their room, but because they combine experience with logic to avoid avoidable mistakes. History is full of lessons. During 2008 financial crisis, some of the few investors who avoided collapse simply followed the common sense rule, like don't buy what you don't understand. In medicine, many life-saving practices from washing hands to wearing seatbelts began as common sense observations before science later confirmed them. A commonly asked question is, can common sense be learned? Absolutely. While some of it comes from life experience, the research shows it can be sharpened. Number one, exposure to diverse experiences like travel, work, and interacting with different people broadens your perspective. Number two, learning from mistakes, reflecting on failures strengthens judgment. Number three, observation, paying attention to what works and what doesn't in everyday life. In fact, in 2019, a study in Frontier Psychology found that people who actively practice perspective taking and reflective thinking scored higher in practical judgment tests. Here are 4 steps for self-improvement if you want to strengthen your common sense muscles. Start small. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself what outcome I'm expecting here. Number 2, simplify. Break problems down into simple practical steps. Seek feedback. Build habits. Even something simple like budgeting your expenses trains your brain to apply practical judgment consistently. So common sense isn't just a glitch. It's a skill, a blend of awareness, practicality, and adaptability that can be cultivated like any other muscle. And while it might not win you a Nobel Prize, it just might keep you from making the kind of mistakes that prevent you from achieving success. Because in the end, success isn't always about brilliance. Sometimes it's about good old-fashioned common sense. Goodbye for today.